partnership up right when COVID started. So then Frank and I joined at the end of that whole process.
Hey guys, it's Amy from Pennington Design Pottery, and I am here at Seattle Pottery Supply in Seattle, Washington. And I have with me here Rusty,
That's right,
the Associate General Manager. And we're going to be doing lots of exciting things today. We're going to get to tour the manufacturing end. I have personal shopping to do, as well as Rusty is going to tour us around their fun and unique space. So,
Sure.
Rusty,
Great,
ready?
thank you. Welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
So I understand you've been here in the store before.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So great. Let's take a quick tour around, and while we're going around, maybe you can tell me if you have any questions about some areas we can
absolutely.
help you. Okay. So our receiving and greeting and distribution of a lot of clay happens right here in the front lobby. Sometimes we have lines out the door.
Yeah.
So we have a board here that's sort of like a kind of fresh market board.
What's available.
Yeah, what's available, and sometimes when we're in production, we're out at the moment, so we'll put that right up front.
Yeah.
So if you go to a fresh food market, you'll be able to see that kind of thing, and know right where to go, and if you have any questions, we'll be able to help direct you.
Awesome.
So here is what we call Tool Town.
Now I do have a quick question.
Sure.
Are those all of the clays that you offer there?
Yes.
On the door? Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's meant to be, if I can invite you, Amy,
Yeah.
to come over. This is meant to be sort of like a social media wall where you could say
like
something
it,
that
yeah.
I got my things fired at Seattle Pottery.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, these are all clays that we offer. And these calendars and whatnot come from some of our suppliers. This is from Shimpo,
Okay, nice.
Pottery Wheel.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so going over this direction, we have what we call Tool Town, all kinds of tools, and we
This is
have
where you get
t-shirts
in
and
trouble.
aprons. Exactly. Or as we say, have fun. You're an addict, join us. Right.
Yep.
Right. So lots of stuff. It's if you want to tour through that, that's up to you. But basically, it's anything and everything you want to look for for tools to make your pottery.
Yeah. And do you yourself do pottery?
I do hand building. Yeah,
You do hand
I do
building.
some. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm kind of busy every day here, but we do some work, and I've done some Raku.
Oh,
We have a Raku
nice.
workshop.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm excited about
yeah.
that. Hoping to do that in the future.
Great. And then heading over this direction, I'll show you. Well, we might as well show you first back here that we do have a collection of items that we've been using to show people what our clays look like in this form.
Yeah.
And then here, Frank has been glazing some things. And so you'll see that these are samples of things that will appear on the product pages on our website.
Yeah,
And this is where they're kind of kept as a library for reference. And
Very
then
helpful.
currently we have a kiln sale, so we've made so many kilns that we've had to stock them somewhere, so they're here sort of back in the library. Library of Kilns. And then we have a huge selection of glazes. We make and manufacture glazes. These are all mid-range. We have more mid-range glazes than anything else.
Yeah.
And they're both in the wet and dry version, all the way up to 25 pounds, or the wet all the way up to 1 full gallon.
Yeah.
And you can order larger, 5 gallons worth if you want, but that's on special order.
Nice.
Yep. And then we have some wheels available. We actually went through about 35, 40 wheels in the last 2 weeks, so this was huge. It was all full, and now we're down to just a few left over.
So you guys do keep wheels in stock at
We
all
try
times,
to keep
or-
them.
'cause
Yeah.
personally, when I know I probably bought at a difficult time, which was COVID, beginning 2020, and I had to wait a good long while to get my Brent wheel.
Yeah, it takes a while. There's been such a demand after COVID and through COVID, but right now we have some in stock, and in fact we have others being delivered in the next 2 weeks. So
Nice.
we try to keep it going because people are always looking for them.
And then clearly you have kilns and
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
too,
yeah.
which is nice. 'Cause
You'll
that's
learn-
another thing that I had to wait a very long time for.
Oh, you got one, yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
I have an Olympic, and
Nice.
yeah, the waiting for those things can be a couple of months long sometimes.
Sure,
So
sure. We'll
kind
talk
of-
about kilns in just a little bit, but this is an example of some of our customer things, but mostly it's our employees' things, an exhibit.
Is this new?
This is new,
Okay, I was
right?
gonna say,
We've been doing this the last several months.
Okay.
And we're showing how glazes can be used on our clay bodies.
Yeah.
And we're showing how to layer the glazes.
Okay.
And then showing, for example, a Raku piece that was done by Frank.
Oh, that's Raku.
And just giving different examples. It also helps us when people have questions. What does this look like with this
Yeah.
color on it? Then we can pull a sample out and
Yeah.
just demonstrate
Sure.
it. And then of course we have Amico and Mako glazes here, the low fire, the under glazes. And then this is our, basically I call it our kiln nursery, where we put it on display. It helps us to understand and communicate with customers
Yeah.
when they're choosing. They get to
The
be able
size.
to open it up and touch and feel and see what the size looks like and
Yeah.
what would work for them.
Yeah, which is helpful because
Yeah.
I, didn't have that ordered online.
Yes, yes.
And you get a 10 cubic foot kiln and you're like, wow, that's a big kiln.
Yeah,
So
that's a good size.
I went from 3 to 10, which
Wow.
was quite a big jump.
Wow, it takes you
Yeah.
a while. I'm sure you fill it up though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
good.
have done quite a bit of wholesale work, so
Oh, good.
you fill it up fairly quickly when you're doing wholesale. But
Nice.
yeah,
Well, we can always learn from each other because every project has its own requirements. So we're glad that you're able to shop with us here. This is our
Oh,
Raku kiln that is called an easy riser because
wow,
pull it up, and actually it's not set up to be as easy right now. But the point is this demonstrates how when it's in operation it goes up and down. I have to adjust something right there because it's
Yeah.
probably set just for display right now. But we make all of these in the back as well.
yeah, that's cool.
Right.
That's really neat.
And then of course we have bats and banding wheels. We're just receiving a shipment in about 5 days to keep those stocked up.
Yep.
We have dry materials, more dry glazes, and then we also have, for those that have kiln sitter kilns,
Yep.
the analog kilns, we have the Orton cones,
Yeah.
which are awesome
Yeah.
to work with. And then of course we have a pre-made wedging boards and plaster items there, as well as off the shelf, ready to go
Yeah.
element coil packs for your
Yeah.
kilns of all different sizes that are available. And most of our kilns and many other brand kilns, you can replace those coils yourself.
Yeah.
With just a little practice, it's not
Yeah.
that difficult.
Yeah, we've done it a few times. And,
Good.
But you guys also do kiln repair,
We
if
do,
I remember correctly.
we do, that's correct.
Because I've had my previous Scott kiln repaired here, and
Nice.
it was honestly a breeze to work with.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Come on into our wonderful world of clay. And first I'll just describe here what Frank is doing is we have customer firing service.
Oh yeah.
This is Frank, he's our retail supervisor. And
Hi, everybody.
we fire for customers who don't have a place to fire,
Yeah.
and we turn it around. We have huge kilns in the back, you'll see those when you get back there, that we fire service and turn it around in about 10 to 12 days.
Okay, nice.
Right, which is pretty fast
Yeah,
for
it
most
is.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk about clay in a second, but this is all you might want and need for shelves and stilts and posts for your kiln, extra bricks if you have a project or you want to make a repair.
Do you guys have advancer kiln shelves?
We don't.
No?
We've been asked a lot about those
Oh.
recently. Yeah, we should probably bring them in,
Yeah, I've seen those and they're expensive,
Yeah.
but they're definitely on the bucket list. 'Cause
Yeah, people say
I've-
that you just shake it off.
Yeah,
right?
I've heard it saves a lot of pieces because you don't have to kiln wash them or anything either. You can just pop a piece off if it gets stuck to the kiln shelf, which
Sure.
is pretty awesome.
Yeah, great. I've got great recommendations from customers. But here, what I'd like to point out to you is that we recently I have just started a production on a new clay body to fill up. All of these will be filled by 10 days from now. Every one of these will be filled. We make all this clay, and that's what you'll see in the manufacturing department. In the meantime, we had a huge sale on C-Mix Speckled, our basic
I saw
speckled
it on
clay.
your out of stock board,
Right.
and I'm like cringing
It
because I
went-
wanted to get some of that.
Yeah, it went just
Oh,
like
no.
that. It was crazy. We had like 400 orders
I don't doubt it.
in like less than 3 days.
Yeah,
400
I
orders.
recently tried it out, and it's a great clay.
Oh, nice.
Like,
I'm glad you like it.
super easy to work with, and
Sure.
I say that it's kind of been hard for me to find a speckled clay that I like, because you either have like super large speckles, which I feel like can look kind of clunky,
Yeah.
and then you have maybe there's the perfect amount of speckle, but the coloring of the clay itself
Yeah.
can kind of be like
Yeah.
yellow or off and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
not
yeah.
very pretty. But
Yeah.
when I saw that one,
Well, I'm glad to hear
Loved
it.
that one,
That puts a smile on our face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I
It's
appreciate
great.
it. So we have lots of others. And I'm sorry, I'll just refer. When I'm with customers, I sort of give a little mini tour by looking at the tiles, and they're not exactly, because frankly, some of these, this one's been here a while.
Yeah.
Frank is making some new tiles. But this gives you an idea of the final color for
Yeah.
the final firing color.
and this is one that I use.
Yeah, that's
quite
the
a bit of,
C-Mix.
which is
And
great.
this is a really bright yellow clay when it's wet. That is
yeah,
our
I've seen that. Is that the
Plymouth yellow.
Okay. Do you have another one that's called Fool's Gold? Or
We do. That's the
Yeah.
speckled clay.
Oh,
might
yeah.
have to do
It's
those
got a
for you.
nice speckled appearance. It's more of a soft goldish yellow
that's really
color.
pretty.
Yeah, it's nice. And then people are really into buffs right now for this simple plate setting.
Yeah.
The buff colors or the gray colors. It's
Yeah.
really kind of a minimalistic kind of approach. And so our Vashon Buff and Klamath Buff and Vashon Gray are really popular for that kind of minimalistic kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And they do take color well as well.
And
That's the
this is
speckle. Yeah, that's the
what I'm
speckle.
talking about. Those small speckles are really pretty.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So we currently, for example, we just finished Alpine White, so we'll usually do like 8 or 10 pallets at a time
Yeah.
when it's coming out. And then of course we have a lot more of the buff than the others because we had a demand recently for that. And then this is our black clay. It fires up to a nice, with the recent eclipse that came across the U.S., right? It was, we've had this for about 2 years now, and it's really been a good performer. Customers really like it. And then there's some guidance that we give customers who've never used the dark clays. And the basic guidance with those is just to be careful and test them because they do put some gassing off that might blow with your glazes when they get to a hotter temperature.
Yeah.
So part of what our discussion with customers is what works and fits best for them.
Yeah.
And part of that is where they're firing it and what experience they have. And it's nice when people say they learn something new about using new clays when they buy our new clays.
And that's just
Yeah.
a big part of it is anytime you're getting a new clay is testing it.
Yes.
And, with supply chain issues since COVID, I've had to switch clays a couple of times, and everyone that's not in the pottery world is like, well, why don't you just get a different clay or, do a different kind? And it's like, it's not that simple. You have to test everything again.
Test your colors
Yep.
and the combinations on different
Yep.
clay bodies. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're smart that way. I mean, that's an important part to know to manage your expectations and manage your customer expectations,
Yeah.
right?
Because you
Right.
have a vision in your head of what things are going to turn out as, but
Sure.
the kiln gods think otherwise.
That's right.
So that turns black then?
Yes, this will fire to black.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then this is the
Yes, this is the yellow
okay.
that
Nice.
fires to a terracotta color.
I see this one a lot on your guys' social media.
Yeah, yeah.
People throwing with that one.
Yeah,
because it
people
looks kinda
tag
fun.
it. Yeah, it is
Yep.
fun. Yeah, they tag it. So
Nice.
the rest of the warehouse is we have some low fire clay, which is your basic white
Yeah.
and your basic terracotta for earthenwares. And then we have Raku clay as well.
Oh, nice.
And let's see. The rest of the operation is more dedicated to storage and manufacturing. But I will say that this is a little behind the scenes, and it might be nerdy, but we get so many orders in that sometimes these are full, and this is full, and now you can see it's all been cleared out. We had a lot of customers come and pick up orders. These were all full of customer orders.
Wow.
And so we just move a lot of product. And we're really glad that you can be a part of and help tell that story. I appreciate it very much.
Sure.
Right.
And could we see the Raku clay? Because I had a question about
Yeah, sure. The one that our Raku likes best is called Hypenberg.
Okay.
We also make another alternative clay that's just called Raku 2. I don't know why it's 2. Maybe the Raku 1 wasn't quite as successful, so they made a new formula. But that's a nice bright white. This is more of a groggy clay, but it really takes the glazes really well for Raku glazes. It really turns out beautifully. You saw that fiery helmet in that display up earlier, right? That's made with the Piperberg clay as well.
So I can consider myself completely green when it comes to Raku because I've not done it before. So what makes Raku clay different from just your mid-range or high fire clay?
Well, essentially you can use even a mid-range clay, and I would suggest a groggy clay, and here's why. And that's to support, to give you a specific answer, this clay is more groggy.
Okay.
And because when you go through the Raku process and you fire it there in the Raku kiln, it doesn't go, the temperature in that kiln is not super high, it's not even mid-range, it's low, right? It's like low fire range.
Yeah.
But then you do it in the carbon trapping process, and that is quite a stress on it when you put it in those covered things. There are different kind of containers you can use, and then you trap it, and you put different newspaper or wire or feathers or hair or something on there. That part really stresses the clay, so you need a clay that is strong enough that won't crack and break in that stressful process. And that's what this clay essentially is. I mean,
so you wouldn't go using a porcelain?
No, I wouldn't use a porcelain. We'll have to move to turn the lights on. But essentially, the formula, frankly, is a high fire clay formula.
Gotcha.
So it can take the stress, but it's designed and meant to be used in a Raku so that it will accept the glazes really well. Because the glazes you put on that react to that carbon trapping really have a wonderful appearance on this clay.
Awesome.
So
that's going to be exciting to learn.
yeah, you'll have to come to the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it for the retail space,
Yep,
correct?
that's primarily it. And then we work with customers, answer lots of questions, and see what we can do to assist them. So we're glad to have you in.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
We're glad to help you out. Thanks for telling our story.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.